Step 1, make sure your pencil's sharp. Step 2, get something you want to draw within the lines or color within the lines. Step 3, start at a corner if you want with the sharp pencil and lightly color the edge. Because you don't know how dark you want it to be. You want it to be like something that you slowly get into to make it perfect. But now you've got the edge of that. You got the edge of this. All right, let's go. This other edge. So not even, you probably wouldn't even watch the other side. I don't know. I'm holding it with one hand, doing it with the other. All right, for the purpose of this, it's okay if you I don't like doing anything in a different direction, but you're doing light first. So you make sure you don't get anything outside. Just do that, and then this side. So advanced drawing, you probably won't have a line to go off. You'll be actually making the line with your colored pencil. Because human beings, we don't have like a black line around our silhouette. Nothing has a black line. It's just what, the line is for whatever color it is. It's just how it fades or blends into the surrounding environment. So I'm doing light colors so that I don't get that grain. You see that grain right there? I don't like that, so I try everything I can to, I would say, oh, that's something I want to improve, and I do that through blending and other things, but we're just talking about coloring in the lines right now. All right? No one's gonna sell no drawing is complete when you just have one color, one shade, one direction. There's blending involved with that. And that gets with more layers, because the more layers you have, the more you can blend. All right. But you see, I'm able to get in here and get into the lines because I'm just going up to here. And I'm just filling in. Now, as you go through your journey drawing, you'll find other ways to do this. Again, this is just a very basic skill that will enhance your ability to, continue making better and better products as you go to more advanced skills. So it's like trying to do calculus without addition. You just can't do it, right? So you gotta know the basics of addition. All right, cool. So we're there. All right, so I colored in the lines. Now, if I want to get rid of the grain, I just go a little darker. So I'm not satisfied with the way that looks. You gotta think about how the pencil is impacting the paper too. Like if you have any scratches in the paper or anything like that, then yeah, the pencil's not gonna fill in that tiny little scratch. So you gotta make sure your surface is very much a good surface to work off of. So in this case, colored pencils go harder and harder and harder. But you see, as I'm going over this, the grain is all in the same direction. I like that personally. But I never actually, every colored pencil thing I do in multiple colors. So I usually have a primary color that I'm gonna go with, like this blue. And usually I'm trying to go with a cool, like, how you got filters on your phone and whatnot? Well, cool and warm filters. Well, that's because there's other colors that go along with that. So I like to go with a cool filter. So let's see if I can find my pencil. Look at my lovely pencil. Actually, this is a good color. This is a Deco Blue. Let's try that. It's already sharp. So let's see what happens when I do a second color on there. Oh yeah, there we go. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, did you see that? Can't really see it, but start off at the edge. And this is kind of blending the colors as well. Now the phone is going to look a little different than what I'm doing on the piece of paper though, because phone picks up things that you don't really see with your naked eye. But oops. And then I have this little napkin that I was using when I was eating. Pick a part that you're not eating yet, and then you can clean it up. So you see what happens when I do this. It starts to erase some of the stuff. This is not the best thing to blend, right? So you gotta do the right blending materials, but you can see some of it's coming off. It's actually erasing the different layers. That's what happens when you have different layers. Now, but if you are blending, you have to, you don't want to blend outside the line because you're using your paper. Because you're using this paper and you're going over it, just take another piece of paper, cover it. And you can see the blue started transferring to this paper, but hey, it's not transferred out of it. That's cool. Now the other thing you want to do is when you're drawing is, especially when you're drawing with pencil and stuff that transfer, have a piece of paper that you operate on with your hand to rest on. Is your hand will inevitably get, you know, pencil, graphite or whatever on it, or shavings or whatever. You can't keep it clean 100% of the time, so you want to have a piece of paper to sit on it and then, you know, color with. But where did that pencil go? All right, so I kind of went dark just to speed up the video, but this is another thing. This is when I was talking about the scratches. You see how it comes to that point? You gotta be very careful. Yeah, look at that point. That will create indentions in your paper. And when you have an indention in your paper, it won't accept color, right? So be very careful. So when you're going in there, try to either start with a sharp pencil, or if you don't want to waste lead and whatnot, you know, just remember to start coloring from the dull side. But you just play with it, you know, and like if I wanted to get this perfect, I would play with it until I got it close to perfect, and then I would start over. I would do a whole nother square and color it in until I figured out how to get that graininess, because I hate that graininess. I'd keep trying different things until I got rid of that graininess. And at some point, you'll realize that, hey, I can only do so much with a pencil. I can only do so much with a pencil like this and a paper like this. All right, and there's stuff I have to start off with. So, you know, as you try over and over again, you can eventually get to the point where, you know, you will figure it out. You know, you'll figure out what you need to do at the beginning and to get better. And you know, let me see if I can zoom in on this. Maybe yeah, there we go. See that? That's what happens with the colored pencil on this kind of paper. You know, and you see, I went outside the line. I went outside the line there. I mean, that's not perfect. Pencil shavings coming off. Yeah, I went outside the line. I would throw this away and start over. And I would throw it away and start over because I don't like that, unless that's the texture I'm looking for. So you got to play with other textures, right? Textures of paper is what I'm talking about. You try with other pencils. You can prep your surface a different way. So it'd be different if and this is, you don't even need to do something in lines. If you're just trying to figure out how to get the pencil perfect, just start over the edge somewhere, draw lightly, and see if it's better drawing the light color first, and then drawing the dark over it. Maybe that's better. Oh, piece of hair. Maybe that's better. And then blend those together. It's not any better. But you know what? Like, it's part of the journey. It's part of figuring it out. But really what we're trying to do is color the lines, and the way you do that is, yeah, the best way is to trace it lightly. And maybe I was even just going too fast, because look at this side, it's getting a lot better just by being it's looking a lot better if I just consistently drag my pencil across it nice and slowly. but starting from the outside, working in. And knowing that every scrape across that paper, you're leaving more and more color. And so the goal is to leave equal, if you're trying to get a flat surface, the goal is to get equal color. So you want to make sure you never go over the same spot more than the number of times than you really do to get that nice consistent color. But how often are we actually doing this? If you were actually trying to get a flat color, I wouldn't use a pencil. Why? Because pencils are better for shading. Yeah, I would do paint, or I would do a marker. We'll see what a marker does for you. Getting that consistent color. See, look at that. When you go over the marker more than once, it does that overlap. You see the grain still. That's not good. That's not what we want. Oh, I went over. Now it's even darker. So you don't really want marker either, because even if you're very perfect, very cognizant of where the line ends and begins, it still creates a grain. So that's going to be way too much work with that kind of medium. So that's when you start getting to oil paints and acrylic paints. Oil never truly dries. Acrylics dry a little more and a little faster. Oil, so it all just depends on what you're willing to work with. What mediums you're working with and the best you can do. Sometimes you're just not going to be able to do exactly what you want to do with a colored pencil or a pastel or a crayon or a marker or paint. There are going to be little imperfections, but it's whatever's appropriate to the task at hand and the shape. So, but again, if you want to just color in the lines, start from the outside, work in, be light, and then go dark, and be consistent. Thank you for joining me.